What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today we are here with another one team versus all 10-star difficulty GARP challenges video, and today we're going to be talking about the brand new legend that I just pulled not that long ago, being Halloween MIHAWK. This character, honestly, I've been having a bunch of fun just, using him in different pieces of content. He is really good, and I mean, I'm sure a lot of people already knew that, but I mean, I really have to say, this character is a bunch of fun, and you guys are going to see today how awesome he really can be. So this is the team that we're going to be using. This exact team, with no changes, clears all of the 10-star difficulty GARP challenges, so, for the int ones that will reset every single month, this team can beat all three of them without any changes. Now, we do have Halloween Lore as a sub on this team as well. However, after using the team, you probably could replace him with just about any other int orb boosting character. It doesn't specifically have to be this lore. Just any int orb booster would be what I would suggest here. But as for the other characters, we've got Baccarat. If you're running the 10-star difficulty GARP challenges, especially the Whitebeard one, you want to have this Baccarat. She's so good for the Whitebeard challenge. We've got Rayleigh, who's good for Bind and Despair removal, and we've also got Jinbei, who's going to be our key unit to get rid of the increased defense and % damage reduction in the fight. Now, one thing to note as well is that MIHAWK actually has an effect in his special ability that states he also removes 10 turns of % damage reduction. Unfortunately, that's the only one he removes, but unfortunately in these GARP challenges it doesn't really help out too much, and we are using the Liberal Hind ship because our captain is a cerebral character, so we can get the full effect of the ship, and this was a pretty impressive team. It just absolutely tore through it, and I'll discuss more about my feelings on this character MIHAWK as we get into the video, discuss more how the team's working and how it functions, but I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. So jumping into this, let's go ahead and start talking about the very first team, which is going to be against the Doflamingo Challenge. Now with the Doflamingo Challenge, the big things you have to take into consideration here is that there are multiple stages of paralysis infliction and despair infliction. Now remember, with MIHAWK's captain effect, he has an inbuilt ability to remove 10 turns of paralysis. So any piece of paralysis we get throughout these GARP challenges, we can completely ignore, which I guess technically Baccarat is less valuable in that instance, but she's just such an amazing rare recruit to get an orb boost, and then the support of Tesora is way too broken not to run on this team, and I definitely found Baccarat to be extremely valuable. You can see here on this stage against Rebecca, this is where the first piece of paralysis comes in. MIHAWK can completely remove it, and you saw in the stage prior to it get inflicted with despair, this is why we have Rayleigh. Rayleigh can go ahead and use his special to remove the despair, and any other time we use a special, he's going to go ahead and get his cooldown reduced even further so that we can get his special back a lot quicker, which is so nice. Now, the super type of MIHAWK, I have to talk about this just for a little bit. The super type of MIHAWK is actually ridiculous, man. The fact that you can launch his super type, by the way, for those of you who don't know how to activate it, you need very specific characters in order to do it. I think Zoro was one of them, and then basically any of the former or current Warlords of the Sea, so like Jinbei, Boa, Buggy, I think Weevil also counts, Crocodile, like all those old school and even current era Warlords will count towards his super type. So you got a pretty good array of characters there, and when you go ahead and launch it, it changes all slots into matching. It doesn't go through block orbs though, that's the only downside, but basically any type slot or any recovery tandem slot, G slots, whatever it is, he'll change it into matching. And then he also adds 1,000 times his attack as tap timing bonus damage to his own attack. So I think if you calculate it, I think it will give him an additional 2 million damage, give or take, added on top of his tap timing bonus. So for his super type special to just give you a full board of orbs and also give you 2 million extra damage in a piece of content like the GARP challenges, it's pretty ridiculous how good that actually is. So you guys would have just seen there in the previous stage where we had all those mobs there. The fact that we could launch the super type, get a full board of orbs, and get that huge tap timing bonus. The tap timing bonus automatically kills one of them, and then you've got your other 5 units with matching slots to just beat down on the enemies. And remember, another thing about MIHAWK's captain effect is he's a 5 times captain all the time, a 5 times captain to your int units. However, you have to keep hitting your perfects. That is the downside right there. And if you do miss a perfect, he'll be 4 times for the rest of that turn. And I mean, again, just another thing I want to talk about this MIHAWK. You guys would have just seen against that Bato stage, the fact that MIHAWK has barrier penetration, and so does the Trafalgar Law. The Halloween Law also has barrier penetration. And now that, you know, barrier penetration is severely buffed here on Global now, where not only does it bypass the barrier, but it also removes like some of the conditions that you need to pierce the barrier, as well as, you know, like piercing it just by itself as well. All in all, just makes this character an extremely interesting unit to use. And again, you're going to see how crazy he just deals with this last stage. You know, turn 1, we can activate both Law and MIHAWK, and then on the following turn, we can get their huge boosts and, you know, use the super type special for the matching slots, the tap timing bonus damage, and remember, we do have the support of Roronoa Zoro to give us a 2.5 times chain lock for multiple turns. So, dude, like, the whole kit of this unit that can work so well with already some of the better int characters that we have in the game is super impressive. So it had absolutely no troubles taking on the Doflamingo challenge. So let's go ahead and talk about the Revolutionary Army. Now, it's funny, when I usually do these type of videos, I typically say that the Doflamingo challenge is the most difficult one that I had, you know, trouble clearing. The thing is it's kind of like the opposite this time around. I felt the Doflamingo challenge was the easiest for this team to clear. And then progressively, as we moved along, I felt like the Whitebeard challenge for this team was the most difficult, because the enemies have slightly higher HP compared to some of the other ones that you may have seen in the other GARP challenges, which means that you do have to make sure you're focusing, you're hitting your perfects, you make sure you have your matching slots where you need them. Otherwise, you know, it might be a little bit troublesome. And again, you know, you can see right here with the Revolutionary Army, we did go ahead and use the Jinbei special a little earlier there, so we could go ahead and remove the defensive shield on Kuma, and because he's a Sai unit, we have a full board of in slots, and it's not going to be too much of a problem there. And again, using that super type special to get a full board of slots, changing those bomb orbs around, we don't need those, into matching, which is great. And then the tap timing bonus damage means that he can just automatically kill Robin, which is great. We actually go ahead and, you know, use the MIHAWK special a little earlier here, because these enemies did look a little tanky, and, you know, just me thinking in the future, I don't think I'll need to have another MIHAWK special for a future stage, so it made perfect sense just to use it here, and definitely paid off. Absolutely no troubles whatsoever, taking no damage up until this point, which is very impressive. So the fact that we have a full HP pool, and remember, I think this guy has a 1.4 HP boost. It's like 1.3 or 1.4. It's actually kind of crazy how much HP your team has. Unfortunately, that does also mean that if you do get inflicted with despair, it definitely is a lot worse comparatively to, you know, like Law, for example, because Law has a 1.4 HP boost, and he has the inbuilt effect where, you know, when you're inflicted with despair, he just resists it by 10 turns. So a little bit different. You know, you could definitely run a hybrid of the two. You could run like Law and MIHAWK as the hybrid. That would actually be kind of crazy, because it means it's less utility that you'll have to be bringing to your team, but it totally depends on what you want to do. I had a lot of fun using double MIHAWK, that's for sure, because having two capabilities of his super type special really does make a difference. You know, that means you get 2 guaranteed turns of a full board of slots, and then, you know, 2 guaranteed turns of his mass tap timing bonus damage. Truly does make a massive difference. And then on this stage here with Lindbergh and Karasu, we can go ahead and launch the MIHAWK special and the Law special so that we can hit our perfects on this stage, move on to the final stage, and we'll have the 2.5 orbs, the 2.5 attack, and then we'll also have a chain lock from Baccarat. We can use her special because haven't used her a single time this run yet, so that's awesome. So we can have a 3 times chain lock, 2.5 orb, 2.5 attack boost, full border matching slots, tap timing bonus damage from the super type special. Like, it's really, really cool that you can get through the content so easily and have so many specials left over for the final stage. It just makes it so ridiculously easy. You know, I was kind of worried about the burn damage because obviously MIHAWK has to hit his perfects to get, you know, your massive boost, but when you only have to hit only just a couple of perfects to take out the enemy, it makes a pretty big difference. So I'll leave you guys with this clip and we'll pick things up with the Whitebeard challenge. So now we have the final GARP challenge here, which is going to be the Whitebeard challenge. Now this one I do think was the most difficult for this team to clear, but I say it's difficult, but it still wasn't really that hard at all. The only real troublesome stage was the stage with Fossa, which is pretty much everyone's problem with the Whitebeard challenge. And it's just because all 3 of the enemies on that stage have like a little bit higher HP compared to what, you know, you'd see from the other GARP challenges, and it just means that if you get really bad luck with your matching slots, then yeah, that's definitely going to cause some issues. But I actually did do a test run before recording this particular clip, and I ended up using a MIHAWK super type special against the Fossa stage just to make sure that I could take down Ezo just a little bit easier. So even though you may need to use a super type special a little earlier, I actually did that and I was still able to clear it, even though I do, you know, activate the super type special a little bit later against Jozu. And remember, against Jozu, he's the stage where he has the rainbow shield and the blue shield, which is exactly why Jinbei's on the team. So he'll remove those defensive effects as well as give your fighter characters matching slots, which in this instance isn't going to be too many, just Jinbei himself and also 6+ Rayleigh. And then, as we also said, you know, Trafalgar Law on this team, he's mainly just here to provide that orb boosting effect. There's absolutely no reason why you couldn't just replace him with another orb booster, because the only time we use his special is on the final stage or moving into the final stage of a fight. So definitely you could replace Law with just any type of unit that is some type of orb booster, because yeah, Law is one of those units that can help trigger the super type special of MIHAWK. However, we do have Jinbei on the team, and Jinbei is also one of those characters that can trigger the super type special. So yeah, you do not need Law on this team, but Law is definitely a really nice unit to have, and you know, I wanted to use him because he's a new unit, new shiny toy that I wanted to play with. Now, because MIHAWK gives you tap timing bonus damage with his super type special, typically you want to make sure you can avoid normal attacks only, because normal attacks only negates the effects of tap timing bonus. However, in this instance here, we just have so much damage from our regular attacks, from the orb boost, attack boost, chain. You know, it doesn't matter that the tap timing bonus damage is not active, just because the multipliers that we're pushing out right now are just absolutely bonkers. But that's it, guys. That's the wrap up of MIHAWK with one team taking on all the 10-star difficulty GARP challenges. I sincerely hope you guys enjoyed this video today, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure you go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.